Hello, good morning, and welcome to today's Facecast. Today we're way back in the book of Exodus, about 1500 years BC, about 3,500 years ago. That's a long way back in time, and life was very different back then. We're going to be reading a passage that is kind of a link between different things that are going on. You may remember from your different readings of Exodus, maybe at school, maybe in church, you'll know that various different things happen to the Israelites as they escape from slavery under the Egyptians, as they're led out from that oppression. They cross the Red Sea, they receive the Ten Commandments on Mount Sinai. Well, just prior to receiving the commandments, Moses, who's their leader, is on Mount Sinai, and this is described. Mount Sinai was covered with smoke because the Lord descended on it in fire. The smoke billowed up from it like smoke from a furnace. The whole mountainside trembled violently, and the sound of the trumpet grew louder and louder. Then Moses spoke, and the voice of God answered him. That's a scene-setting passage, isn't it? It's one of those wow moments when we read the Bible stories. Does it sound like a volcano erupting? Yes, it may have been that indeed. It may have been a description of, well, that sort of a cataclysmic event. But this is the way in which God moves sometimes, with huge responses and huge actions. And imagine how Moses is feeling in that situation. He's on a mountainside, maybe on his own, maybe with one or two others with him. But the whole place is trembling, there's smoke, there's fire. It's a dangerous place to be. But that's the place where God is going to speak to him, and he's going to hear and listen to what's going on. It's knowing that there are those wow moments, those huge moments in our history, because this story is part of our history too, because it links us with what went on with the Israelites in the past. And it's the same God then as today. It's the same God who led the Israelites out of oppression from Egypt, who will lead us out of oppression in our lives. What sort of oppression might we face? Well, COVID-19 for a start. There's been all sorts of oppressions and difficulties and trials and troubles that we've had to face in the past, be it world war or famine or plague. Most of the time these days we live a fairly comfortable, a fairly easy life, most of the time. But even as we're doing that, in the world around us, there are many who are living very difficult times. And it's our responsibility to help them out in their problems and their troubles. This passage here, as I said earlier, is one of those wow moments. When we read it, we can think of, yes, the Lord our God is powerful and awesome, but he never wants to stop having relationship with us and working through us to make his will known and to get his will done in this world. That's how we can follow his ways and be his people, by being his agents in this world. For Moses, it was a huge job of being there in that dramatic place and receiving the Ten Commandments, which would become the basis, the foundation of our laws and our life thereafter. We forget these days how much we rely on something like the Ten Commandments to lead us and guide us. And this is the origin of that period of time that descended all the way down to us today. When you read the Bible, make sure you stop at the wow moments and think about what it was like, what it must mean, how dramatic it is, and how pervasive it is into our lives today, that these things happened that we might know God our Father. Big stuff. Enjoy reading it. See you soon.